Okay, ladies, let's chat. If you're a single woman and you want to win with money, then open up the Notes app on your phone or open up a notepad and cut out all distractions. Because what I'm going to talk about in this video is so important. And I'm so passionate about it because I see so many women exhausted and struggling to make ends meet and just not able to live the life that they desire to live. And I desire to see women thriving not only in their finances, but also in their careers and in their personal and spiritual lives. And I do believe that that is possible. And I feel like it's not because of a lack of ability that holds people back, but it's a lack of knowledge. So in this video, I'm going to reveal to you the 7 truths about women who win with money. And you do not want to miss number 7 because I do believe it is a game changer that too many people overlook. So let's get started. Truth number 1, women who win with money know their numbers. And by numbers, I mean they know exactly what is coming into their bank account, which is their income, and they know what's going out of the bank account, which is their expenses. They also know their debt balances, like how many credit cards they have, or if they have student loans, how many loans make up the total of their student loans. They also know their interest rates. When I say know your numbers, I really mean intimately. Like I know how much is in my bank account at any moment. So if someone charges my card fraudulently, or if there's a bill that was charged higher than it should be, I could tell immediately and I can fix it. But I remember when I was not good at managing money, I hated looking at my bank account. Like it just stressed me out so much because I knew I wasn't gonna like what I saw anyways. And I would leave bills unopened, especially like old past due medical bills. I just wouldn't even open it. And you know, when you get the red envelope and it's got open now, past due on it, it was just such a stress. So I just ignored it. And I guess I just figured like if I don't open it, maybe they'll forget about it, we'll forget about it, and you know, I won't have to worry about paying it. And I think that's what the cool kids call Delulu. So instead of knowing my numbers intimately, I ignored them. And the problem with ignoring your money is you can't fix it. There are problems that need to be solved, and when you're ignoring them or you're living in denial, you're just going to sit in the problem, and it's not going to get any better until you do something about it. So how did I go from ignoring my money to now knowing every detail of it? Well, I now track every expense and I keep a written budget. You may be thinking, wow, that sounds very stressful and time consuming, but honestly, it's not, and it really just takes a few minutes each week. So what I do is I follow a zero-based budget, which basically it means that what I spend each month perfectly matches my income. So think of it like you put your income at the top of the page. Say you make $5,000. Then you subtract your housing, you subtract all your utilities, your groceries, gas, debts, and include savings in there, and that gets you to your zero. So your expenses should equal your income. Every single dollar that you bring in, you give it a job to do. I also track my expenses weekly. So basically, when I first started getting my money in order, I got a notepad and I would write down every expense that I had every single day. Whether it be I went to the gas station, got some gas, and then I went in the gas station, got some chips and soda. I would write that down. If I paid my rent, wrote it down. Paid my cell phone bill, wrote it down. Every single expense. Now, this could be expenses that you have with your debit card, your credit card, or cash. Anytime money leaves your hands, write it down. And so that helped me to get clarity around where my money was going and my spending habits. And tracking your expenses really doesn't take that long. You can just do it in a few minutes a day or just tally it up in a week. And that really helped me to make a more realistic budget for my zero-based budget. Now, if any of you are currently living paycheck to paycheck, then tracking your expenses is a must because you need to start cutting expenses down so that you can get some margin in your budget so you're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. And you don't really know where you can cut if you don't know where your money is going. So tracking expenses is a key first step to no longer living paycheck to paycheck. Tracking my expenses has been a game changer for me, and that is how I know my numbers intimately because I'm and looking at them all the time. Now, I don't write down my expenses anymore in a notepad. I do use an Excel spreadsheet. Now, there are budgeting apps that will track your expenses for you, like EveryDollar or Mint Mobile, and those are fantastic and they do cut down on the time. But I like to do it the manual way because I feel like anything that's done for me, it creates a barrier between me and my money. And I want to make sure that I look at every single expense. And I know that I will if I'm the one that has to write it or if I'm the one that has to type it into the Excel spreadsheet. So you can definitely use apps just to, make things more efficient. But I'm a money nerd and I just love the act of, going through all of my expenses and tallying everything up. So I still prefer to do it by hand. Truth number 2, women who win with money live below their means. Basically, this means your expenses should not exceed your income. So let's say you make $5,000 a month. You should not use all $5,000 just on basic living expenses. You should still have money left over for saving and investing. And this is something that I feel a lot of people do not understand, and I know I didn't when I was younger. It is very easy to fall into the habit of living above your means. And I know that when I got out of college and started my first job, I created a lifestyle that required my entire paycheck to fund, and I left no room for saving. Now notice I said live below your means, not within your means, and there is a clear difference. I want you to have saving in your budget. I want you to be able to put away money in an emergency fund. I want you to be able to save for vacations, for a future home if you want, and I want you to be able to fund your retirement. So you need to have a good chunk of money left over after you pay all the bills, buy your groceries, and have a little bit of fun for these important things. If you're using your entire paycheck just to cover basic living expenses and you're not leaving any room for saving or investing, then you're making everybody else rich instead of making yourself rich. So how do you go from living above your means to below your means? Well, it really starts with prioritizing your needs versus your wants. You really have to decrease your spending. So I want you to take a look at where you're spending your money and where you can cut costs. That's why I told you to start tracking your spending so you'll know where you can make cuts. So look at your housing, look at if you have car payments, and look at how much money you're spending on food. Those are the 3 biggest expenses most people have in their budget every month. But also, like, if you are a single woman and you have a 2-bedroom luxury apartment, like, sure, I want you to have a luxury apartment, but do you need 2 bedrooms? Oh, well, my mom is going to come visit me and she needs some place to sleep. There is the couch, or give her your bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to start making better choices if we want a brighter future financially. So along with looking at your housing, I want you to look at your car payment. Now, if you make $50,000, but you have a Mercedes, we need to talk. Like, the math is not mathing with this. Like, I really want us to start making better decisions, and cars are an easy way for us to get, pulled in by those car salesmen. They are very good at their job and they can make any car make sense in our budget because all they have to do is stretch out that monthly payment for 6, 7, 8 years that you're paying on a luxury vehicle that you do not need. I would say trade in that car and get a used car that you can pay for in cash so you don't have a car payment. And that's now more money that you can put towards your financial future. The key to living below your means is really just to act your wage. And I had to learn how to tell myself no when I started living below my means. I had to practice self-discipline and delayed gratification because I wanted a lot of things, but I had to realize I couldn't afford those things just yet. So I had to be patient. And this is such a key habit to build right now when you're single, because I knew when I was single, I wanted to be able to stay home when I started having children because I didn't want to have to work full time and put my kids in daycare. It's just something I didn't want for my family. And now I have my first baby, I'm married, and I'm able to stay home because I was able to practice that delayed gratification and that self-discipline. So this is a habit that we have to cultivate, ladies, and it's so worth it. Truth number 3, women who win with money build an emergency fund. An emergency fund is money that is set aside for the sole purpose of being used for unexpected events or expenses. You would use your emergency fund for things like you had a busted tire, or your car broke down, or you had a medical emergency, or you lost your job unexpectedly. It is so essential that you have an emergency fund. And a good reason is because this hurricane season this year has been off the chain. We had Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton just ravaged the lower East Coast, and so many people lost their homes, all their possessions, and have been displaced. And I remember listening to a news report where they were interviewing people about if they were going to evacuate, and so many people were like, no, I'm not going to evacuate because I don't have any money to evacuate. And I just thought to myself, that is so sad. Imagine you don't have an emergency fund. You haven't prepared for events like this, so you couldn't even save your life if you wanted to. So if you have an emergency fund, you can handle events like that. You can handle if your car breaks down or if you lose your job. And that just shows that you have the foresight to see that unexpected things happen. We know life be lifing, and we need to be financially prepared to handle those unexpected events. The thing I love about emergency funds is that they turn emergencies into just merely inconveniences. So I remember that when I wasn't good with money, everything became an emergency for me. I had a very old car that always needed work. It would always be breaking down on me. And I had old tires on that car because I didn't have enough money to buy brand new tires. So I would just get the hole plugged. It was a mess. And every time something happened, I was just so stressed. So when I finally got an emergency fund, things that used to be emergencies just became like, oh, okay, well, I got it. So when I needed to change my tire, I'm like, okay, here's the money. Because when you don't have money and you sitting at the counter and those people want, you to pay, and you're trying to negotiate with them, or you're trying to think, okay, where am I going to get this money from? If I move this money here, if I don't pay rent, if I'm 2 days late on my light bill, it's like you're trying to play chess with money. And I just don't want y'all to have to deal with that. So let's just build an emergency fund to be prepared for these unexpected events so that we're not looking crazy at nobody's checkout line. Another reason that I stress having an emergency fund is because when you have money set aside for unexpected events, you're less likely to use debt. And when you start using debt for emergencies, it is just a vicious cycle, and you're compounding the problem. So this leads perfectly into truth number 4. Women who win with money eliminate debt. I believe debt is a trap. And when we are relying on debt to fund our lifestyle, we are just digging a hole for ourselves deeper and deeper, and it'll be harder to get out of. Now, I do believe that there's a difference between good and bad debt. Like if you have a mortgage, that's good debt because it's technically an asset. You can sell it and make money from it. But bad debt is for sure credit cards that have high interest, payday loans, and things like that. So I feel like if you can prioritize getting out of that high interest debt, like your credit cards and your student loans, payday loans, and those buy now, pay later loans, it would be so beneficial for your financial future. I like to think of debt like a thief, and I explained this example in another video, but imagine a person coming to your door and you knew they were going to rob you. Would you open the door and let them in and give them some lemonade? No, you would not. You would close the door, lock it, you would close the windows and call the police. And that's how we need to treat debt. We need to treat it like it is an enemy, because it is. It just steals from us. It doesn't give to us. And it's funny because when I was first starting out, I got my first credit card and I just bought whatever I wanted. Honestly, I bought a TV, I bought a PlayStation, I bought clothes, I bought whatever I wanted. And it probably all totaled up to about $1,000. And I got my first credit card bill. And I thought that they were going to, require that $1,000 immediately. I mean, I didn't have it, but I thought that they were going to bill me for the $1,000. And it was just like $34 or something like that. And when I saw that bill, can you believe I got excited? I was like, what? This is awesome. All I got to pay is $34 and I got a TV and clothes and all this stuff for $34. Y'all, No, I truly thought the credit card company was my friend. I thought like we cool, we here. No, they were playing on my ignorance and my financial illiteracy because I didn't realize that yeah, I paid $1,000 for all of those items, but I'm about to pay $3,000 over the lifetime of paying it back because of the interest that they're charging me. So we have to get smart, ladies. Let's eliminate debt because it's not your friend. So if you just do the first 4 principles that I talked about in this video, you will be way ahead of most people in America. You'll be less stressed about money, you'll have more money to spend on the things that you value, and you'll be set up for your financial future. But if you don't want to just change your future, but change your children's children's future, and if you don't want to just be financially secure, but be financially independent and be able to live your choice life, then keep watching because I have 3 more truths to share. And if you've gotten value from this video so far, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what truth has been most eye-opening for you. Truth number 5, women who win with money invest in themselves. So let's talk about investing in yourself. And please excuse the lighting. I'm losing daylight, but I'm trying to get this video out as fast as I can, so let's just roll with it. So when I say invest in yourself, I mean increasing your income. So I talked about cutting your spending and, prioritizing your needs versus your wants. But realistically, there's only so much you can cut. You have to, pay your rent, your utilities, you got to eat. So there's only so far you can go with cutting your expenses. And at a certain point, depending on how far you want to go and investing in yourself, you have to increase your income. Because in today's economy, inflation has caused everything to cost more money. So, you can't really cut down on your housing costs a lot just because everything has gone up. The grocery cost has gone up, gas has gone up. So we have to get more creative if we want to win with money. And the good thing about increasing your income is there's no limit on how much you can increase your income. Like there's a limit on how much you can cut, but with your income, the sky's the limit. And let me just address this right now. Your shoulders probably tensed up and you probably started to tune out when I said increase your income because you're like, this lady wants me to go work at Taco Bell and I'm already exhausted from the first full-time job I have. Listen, I understand and I really do understand. But I'm just trying to be realistic with you ladies. Like, I feel that people want 10-minute solutions for 10-year problems. And there's no such thing. We have to choose our hard. So do you want to choose the hard of staying stuck in your financial position you're in right now, living paycheck to paycheck and scared about, any emergency around the corner? Or do you want to choose the hard of, yes, working a bit more, but you're doing it on your terms and with your future goals in mind? It's your choice. Money works one of 2 ways. Either you spend less of it or you make more of it. I have learned that there are no shortcuts to wealth, and I find that people that try to get money quick or easy, it eventually fails. It's not sustainable. So I want wealth that is sustainable and eventually becomes passive. So we have to do the work to get there. And there is a proverb that talks about this. And it is Proverbs 13:11, and I'm going to read it. It says, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. So I just want you to think about that. And the thing is, if you're single with no kids especially, you have the most valuable asset, which is time. You have time to get creative and think about what are some ways that I can make more money sustainably? How can I learn a skill? How can I go back and get a certification? Or whatever I can do that can increase my market value and I can start demanding more money in the job market. So I don't want you to waste this time, ladies. If you are single right now, you need to be learning, studying, and increasing your skills so that you can go demand more in the marketplace. And don't sleep on those skills that you have but you haven't really thought of. So like if you are good at hair braiding, if you're good at doing makeup, if you're good at photography, and I'm not talking about like expert level, but if you just are, you can make somebody look good, then you need to be, reaching out to your friends, your family, GoFundMe, getting on Fiverr, and, hiring out your services for people. Because, like, especially if you're good at photography, you can, do family portraits. It's the holiday seasons are coming up, or you can, do dog portraits. People that have pets love getting pictures of their pets. Listen, just get your iPhone and start taking pictures of dogs. Boom, you got a side hustle. And if any of you are saying, I don't know how to do anything, I don't have any skills, you still don't have an excuse, because you're watching YouTube right now if you're watching this video. And I call this YouTube University. I have learned so many skills on YouTube, it's crazy. I've learned how to do so many DIYs around my house. I've learned how to do my own hair. I've learned how to do my own makeup. So you can learn any skill on YouTube. So, whatever you're interested in, find a video about it, get a little bit of skill, and then start making money off of that skill. And after you start investing in yourself, that leads us perfectly into truth number 6, which is invest in your future. So I have a question for you. When are you going to retire? How much money do you need to retire? And how are you going to fund your retirement lifestyle? These are questions that must have answers, ladies. Let me tell you something that I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger. You cannot work your entire life and spend all of your money and then expect to be able to retire. You have to begin putting your money to work now when you're young in order to be able to fund your retirement when you get older. So that is why in this video I talked about budgeting and cutting expenses and increasing your income and learning skills to invest in yourself, because I want you to have access to as much money as possible in order to invest in your future self. If you aren't familiar with the concept of investing, basically it means you take some of your money now and you use it to buy something that grows in value over time so that you have more money in the future. I like to think of it like planting a seed. You put the seed in the ground and you wait, and it grows, and then eventually you have fruit that you can harvest year after year after year. So when I say investing, I don't mean saving. So when you're saving your money, it's just in a savings account and it's not really growing because it's not making much interest. When I say investing, I mean putting it into an asset that will grow. So when I say invest in assets, that can be the stock market, like index funds, ETFs, bonds. Also, it can be investing in a home or in a business. The two biggest myths that I've heard around investing is, one, you need a lot of money to get started, or two, it's basically gambling and you're going to lose all of your money. So let's talk about it. First off, you do not need a lot of money to get started investing. Actually, you can start investing with as little as $1. There's something called an exchange traded fund in the stock market that you can purchase for as little as $1, and you can get started investing. The myth that says investing is too risky and you're going to lose all of your money is just not true. Now, I'm not going to lie, investing is a risk and you could lose your money, but if you follow the rules of investing, then you will do it a lot safer. And like I said, this is YouTube University, so go watch some videos about how to invest. There's a ton out there, and learn the best practices for investing. And as long as you do your research and you know what you're doing, I believe that it is the best way to build wealth. The easiest way to get started investing is by using an employer-sponsored 401k or 403b. Two benefits of using a 401k or 403b is because they can take the money right out of your paycheck, so it's like an automatic savings, but also your employer will match what you put into your 401k. So if you invest 3% based on their rules, they'll match you 3%, or if you put in 6%, they'll match you 6%. So that's basically free money. Do not leave that on the table. Now, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not investing advice. I just wanted to share some things that I've learned along the way, but I want you to do your own research and make your own informed decisions. The next truth is such a game changer, and I feel like it will help so many people if we just implement it, and that is women that win with money set clear financial boundaries. Ladies, this is major. Setting clear financial boundaries is so important to protect the work that you have done so far, like budgeting and cutting expenses and increasing your income, getting an emergency fund built up, and starting to set financial goals for the future. You don't want to mess that up by not having boundaries. And I feel like being single makes you that much more susceptible to family and friends coming and pocket watching and thinking you can afford this and you can do this and that because it's just you. Listen, I learned that people can spend your money way better than you can. I mean, people will come and they don't care if you're on a debt payoff journey or if you're on a budget. They will try to derail your goals to get what they want. And let me tell you, people that don't respect your goals, no matter if they're family or friends, they are not for you. So what does setting clear boundaries look like? Well, first, you have to set boundaries with yourself. So you have to keep your commitments that you have said that you want to keep. So if you said that you're going to save $200 a month in an emergency fund, then you need to do that. You need to prioritize your goals. You're still overspending and swiping the credit card and living above your means, people will see that and then they'll come with their hand out because people treat you how you treat yourself. Setting clear boundaries also looks like learning this powerful phrase: no. That's a complete sentence, by the way. And don't feel like you have to explain yourself why you can't go to Barbados with your girls or why you're not going to buy all 15 of your grown cousins Christmas gifts. No means no. And I mean, you don't have to be ugly about it, but when somebody asks you to do something that's not in your budget, just kindly say, no, that's not in my budget right now. Maybe next time. Also, you can let people know that if they have something that they want you to do, like a family trip or a present that they want you to buy, they need to give you advance notice so that you can save up for it and then you can put it in your budget and then you can have those experiences with them or buy those things they want you to buy. But don't let people just drop in on you and turn your budget upside down. Okay, ladies, so that's all I have for you. It was so much fun making this video, and I truly, truly hope that it helps someone. And if it did, please let me know in the comments down below. I just love talking about finances and helping women get clear about their financial goals and reaching their financial goals. So let me know in the comments down below which truth was helpful for you, and also let me know what videos you would like for me to tackle in the future. I would love to hear from you. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.